Hello and welcome to the Warcraft III audio commentary. This is game 2 between the matchup. I don't really know what the set or anything is. Between Shao Kai, spawning as the light blue undead on the left side of the map. This is going to be Echo Isles, and he is going to be going up against Chekpu, also known as Lin, the blue orc, on the right side of the map. Now, I did say, I think last game, that this was for WRL. That's actually not true at all. This is not for WRL. This is for a Chinese league. I don't know. I kind of got confused last game, but this is definitely for a Chinese league or tournament or something like that, or just for fun. I don't know. I really don't know, but nonetheless, so there you go. And let's go ahead and see that Chekpu is going to be going with the Blade Master. Over here on the left side of the map, you can see Standard Fiends, I think. No, this is, I think, Ted Fiends, actually. This is indeed Ted Fiends coming in from Mr. Shao Kai. Or Shai Kai. Or Xiao. Mr. Kai. We call him Kai. He's a very, very good undead player. And this is game 2, so yeah, just recap all of those little tiny details that are very important to have recaps. Of course, we're going to go ahead and see him picking up a Rod of Necromancy as well as a Dust of Appearance, and he is going to book it on over to the other side of the map in hopes, well, I think he's hoping really that the orc player creeps this out, because sometimes when they creep that out, they have a bit of an issue and they end up pretty low with their Blade Master. Now, there's actually going to be an Acolyte sitting here saying, okay, well, if you try to creep this out, I'll see this creep camp get aggroed and I'll know you're creeping that. And if you're not creeping that, you're not creeping this, where will you be creeping? Because then, you know, there's really any number of ways or camps he could creep, and it looks like, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to find out. But it turns out he will find out immediately that he's actually not creeping at all. He's going to have a Blade Master running to his base. Means he's got to pull up a Nerubian tower right here, and he's going to lose this Ziggurat, which is really unfortunate for the undead player, but it's not really the end of the world at all. He's going to try to do some harass onto these Acolytes. Really, he shouldn't get any of these killed at all. It's just way too easy to keep these Acolytes alive, especially considering the Nerubian tower is about to come up. I don't see him getting any kills, but what he can do is he can sit right here and stop this undead player from putting down another Ziggurat, which he wants to put down right here, of course, and meanwhile these ghouls are going to be sitting here on these trees, saying, I want to get some wood. Now, this Acolyte having a bit of an issue running into that Blade Master, taking a bit of damage, and he is going to have to move over here into a position that is going to be slightly harder for that Blade Master to get to. Of course, if you randomly move stuff around even, that's even better. Now, we're going to see that Ziggurat going down because he does need to get it down, and he just has to hope that, you know, the Blade Master doesn't come in there and cancel it. Probably won't, because, you know, he's got to wonder how much mana does he have and how much mana does he really want to spend on this. It's, you know, it's not really all that great. Meanwhile, Chekpu will go ahead and sell his TP at that marketplace right there, and he's going to go ahead and run across the map. He does have a shop, also known as a Voodoo Lounge, going down, and it looks like he's creeping up here at this green camp. Yes, he is indeed. Going to go ahead and pick up a nice little item. Well, it might be nice, it might be bad. We'll see here in just about 2 seconds what that item is. Ring of Protection +2, not really the item he wants, but it does make him a little bit more tanky, and he can use that while he creeps, particularly if he decides to creep out this blue Ogre Magi guy, which he may not, but if he does, you know, he can keep that Ring of Protection +2, and it takes some less damage, which could be nice, you know, and he can keep that while he creeps, in fact, while he doesn't need the slot, and once he needs a slot, he'll sell it, probably sometime around the time he goes to buy boots, my guess, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's generally about the time you need the slot, so hey. Over here we can see that there's a Fiend out. He is just going to try to pull out this creep camp and kill that Forest Troll. I'm not really, I guess he's probably been doing that for a while or something. I don't really know what happened to there. I'm not really sure how that Forest Troll was so low on life. But that's the case. You're going to see that Fiend getting ensnared twice. Not really what he wants to do really, but that happened. And meanwhile, Lin is over here creeping out this mercenary camp, which could give him a nice item. You know, you can get a Talisman of Evasion right there if you wanted it. Well, I mean, if he gets it, he can get a Ring of Regeneration. What item will he get? A Pendant of Energy. Also an incredibly good item. Probably going to go on his second hero, which could either be a, you know, a Shadow Hunter or a Torn Chieftain, most likely. Great item for either one of those guys. Meanwhile, we have this Death Knight right here, finally finding the Orc player after he's crept, but, you know, can he really do anything to these guys? Probably not. He needs some coils to kill anything. You know, maybe a couple more skeletons than 2, and those grunts are going to be microed pretty well, so they're probably not going to go down. As you can see, Mr. Death Knight running away, being chased by that Blade Master. Now, the Blade Master doesn't actually have Boots of Speed yet, but this is Tier 2 for Lin. He does have a Shadow Hunter coming out, throwing down a Spirit Lodge and a Beast Tier, indicating Tier 2 play, at least a standard Tier 2 play. He may go to Tier 3 at some point later on, but just grab a couple things, why not? And Lynn, will he go ahead and creep this out? Killed the skeleton, ran away his grunts so that if it did get aggroed, he wouldn't have any of those guys getting ensnared. Very smart move. And there's a skeleton up here, going to have to force a couple peons into some burrows. It's, you know, being annoying. Nobody likes a cheeky skeleton, except undead players like myself. I think it was awesome. So yeah. And here we can see, of course, this is going to be the mercenary camp being pulled out by Mr. Shao Kai. He's going to go ahead and creep this out if he can. It shouldn't be too hard. He does have Rod of Necromancy, which allows him to make these little skeletons that can tank pretty well. As they get low, try to pull them away so they can go do some additional scouting information. Now, there is one tiny downside. It's really small to sending these guys across the map. If the Blade Master intercepts him, he kills him, he gets 12 additional XP just like that. It's not really something you want, but, you know, for the most part, it's worth getting this scouting information almost always. I can't really think of a situation where it wouldn't be worth it, so, you know, you might as well do it. Also, though, going to see that Death Knight picking up a Pendant of Energy from this creep camp as well. Very nice item to have on the Death Knight. He does need a lot of mana, that's 2 additional coils, so yeah, he's pretty happy about it without a doubt. Gonna go ahead and get a Manual of Health as a Blade Master sitting here right on top of him. Gonna go ahead and open up on one of these fiends, gonna force him to use that coil at level 1. Again, not really what he wants, but he is sitting at full mana, so he's not super concerned about it. Unfortunately for him, he's gonna have to use another one, as his Blade Master is just being incredibly, very feisty is the word I would use. And he actually doesn't even have a Boots of Speed on this Blade Master yet, which is not standard, I don't think, at all. It definitely not with a Shadow Hunter second. It's very weird, but it doesn't really matter because Lynn is creeping incredibly aggressively right here, and he can do so because when you have that Shadow Hunter, you know you have map control. Especially if the Death Knight's not level 3, you know, you hex a fiend or whatever, and the fiend is gonna die, and then you click your scroll of speed, and then you hex another fiend, and that fiend's also gonna die, or they could TP. Or, you know, if they have their Lich out, or if they have Burrow, but that's generally not the case. And also, you probably have Ensnare, so you can probably Ensnare a Fiend and kill it as well. And then you win the game, so you have map control. That's not really what's going to happen in this game, of course, because, you know, Zhao Kai not going to put himself into a really bad position in Tier 2 without a Lich, or, you know, for Frost Armor, or Ensnare. I'm sorry, or Burrow, etc. But nonetheless, he will go ahead and start creeping out this marketplace. However, of course, the Blue Ogre Magi has died. That went over to the Blade Master, who was able to pick up a Scroll of the Beast. Now, oftentimes, Orc players sell this item, but it's actually a pretty good item, and, you know, as long as they don't have a Destroyer. So if you use it when they don't have a Destroyer, you're kind of okay. And that is a Rod of Necromancy getting passed over to the Lich. Almost got picked up by the Blade Master. Here comes a gank. I'm expecting to see this Scroll of the Beast being used here. It would really make sense. Or the undead player will TP out. Either way, not really a situation that the undead player wanted to be in, actually, so maybe it wouldn't make sense to use that Scroll of the Beast, because it's actually a really good position for the Orc, and he didn't really need to use it. But again, he does need to use it before the Destroyer form is complete, and there's going to be Destroyers in this game, absolutely, because you have a Shadow Hunter second, so you know it's coming, and you also have Spirit Link, so you know it's coming. It's absolutely going to come, so I really wouldn't be surprised to see him pop that Scroll of the Beast. Now, he might just sell it for 200 gold. He might do that. But again, he doesn't have Boots of Speed, so he kind of he can afford the slot. So as long as he uses that at some point before the Destroyers come out, he's fine. Or he could use it, you know, after Destroyers come out, kill the Destroyers and then use it. Oh, wait, I don't know what I just said. But if he kills the Destroyers and then uses it, he can also do that. But I don't see him holding on to it that long. I really don't. Nonetheless, there's going to be a statue right here. You can see the undead army down here trying to move towards the center of the map, and he's going to do that just fine. At the shop, I don't think he has a TP at this point, so he has to be very careful with the scouting it. There he goes, picks up the TP. Kind of an important item. You kind of need it. You kind of want it. And we're going to see, of course, that Blade Master opens up on the obsidian statue. Makes that statue run back to base, because you really better. You really better. And Lynn's gonna say, well, I got my Blade Master now. I'm gonna run out of this because I'm getting all slowed and stuff, and it's cold, and I don't want to be freezing. He's like, it's not very nice. He's gonna go ahead and heal himself up with a healing salve. And over here at the Orc base, you can see there's a Shade right here, getting a wonderful amount of scouting information. Also, you know, seeing that there's a level 3 Shadow Hunter, saying, okay, that's, you know, that's nice. And the undead player creeping all the way down here, very aggressively, I would say, but it's kind of so aggressive that it's very unlikely, I think, that the Orc player is going to find him there. I could be wrong, because he is coming down here, but, you know, surely he's going to creep this out. Yeah, he's going to creep this out, whether on accident or not. I know that Shadow Hunter ran a little too close, and he's running some Raiders down here. So is he just trying to find the undead player? Wow. Very good play from Lynn. In fact, it was almost like he knew he was down there. He might have known that for any various number of reasons, just because why, where else would he be? But that was really well done by Lynn. And of course, Xiao Kai or Kai is just gonna have to say, okay, I'm gonna have to try to fight this, but I do have to be really careful. I don't want my Death Knight to get hexed and killed. Yeah, indeed, he is gonna go ahead and TP out. And I think he killed at least one raider, almost killed a Spirit Walker, almost killing a second raider as well. If he had managed to kill both that second raider and that Spirit Walker, would have been super, super good for the undead player. So not really all that great trading a TP for a raider, but he also got this experience and stole it, well, quote unquote, stole it from the Orc player, also getting the item. So really, it's not all that bad. Now up here you can see towards the upper part or topper of the map, the upper part of the map, you can see the Blade Master picking up a tiny Great Hall, and he's gonna come down here to this. He's got all these peons running down here as well. Maybe we probably will see him building a burrow here, but he's going to place that tiny Great Hall somewhere around in this area. He could place it down here if he really wanted to, but generally you're going to place it up here, because the problem is undead players can form themselves with a very nice block right here. They can have a nice choke. It's going to get scouted by the shade, which we're going to see what the undead player how the undead player decides to respond to this. He is trying to try to go ahead and probably pick up a potion of lesser invulnerability. That's really the item that he wants. There it is indeed, and especially since there's only one shop. Now he doesn't want to have to use that because the Blade Master opened on him. He wants to use that for a fight. It's really an item you only want to use in a fight. It's very, very valuable. It's very important, and generally you want it on your Lich. Sometimes you want it on your Death Knight if they're playing, that Kill the Death Knight game, which I'll be honest with you, is a scary game to be playing when an orc was to play with an orc, at least. But yeah, it's something you do have to be somewhat concerned about. Now you can see the Lich has picked up level 3. Also has Boots of Speed, which is nice because the Lich is kind of a slow hero. I think he's 270 base speed, and a lot of other heroes are like 310 or something like, I don't know, 320, something like that. I think it might be 320. That doesn't sound, it might be 300. I'm thinking Dota. Dota terms always end up, Dota values always end up in my mind, mixing me up. But the Lich is definitely 270, and other heroes are definitely generally faster. It's also like the Dreadlord, he's 270. It's really why they're not that great as first heroes unless you get Boots of Speed on them, and a lot of times even a staff. Of course, Blade Master, I think he starts at like 300 or 320. I'm almost positive it's 320. I think Boots of Speed give you 50 movement speed boost. I should probably check those for fact, because, that's good stuff to know. I'm assuming he's going to kill that squirrel, that raccoon right there. And yeah, he's going to come up here and he's going to try to kill some stuff. Just nuke all down these peons. He knows he can't really take a fight right now. So just kill as much of these peons as he can and TP out, I think, is what we're going to be seeing him do right here. Unfortunately, going to get hexed on that Death Knight. He could dispel that if he was playing maybe a little bit more better with the destroyers there, I don't know. And he's just going to keep on trying to take this fight, although he really can't. I guess he just wants to kill stuff and just, trade fiends for killing stuff. Why not, I guess, right? Fair enough. And he can kill some units. I mean, he's not going to be able to win the fight, but he can kill some units, and, that's probably not a bad idea, really, when you think about it, because what he's doing here is he's thinning the overall army that the orc player has, and now he's going to TP out after he's satisfied with what he's done. But not only does he kill some units, not only does that, hurt the orc player a bit, as you can see, it's actually going to bring the orc player not quite down to 50 food. So the orc player is still over 50 food. He's still in upkeep, and he lost a lot of peons, and that's kind of a big economic problem for Lynn, because he wants to get up to 80 food at this point, because he has broken upkeep. That's generally what you want to do. You want to get all the way up to 80 food. It takes a while, though. As you can see, he's only got up to 70 food currently. It's because it's going to take him a while to get to 70 food, and he's going to place down a burrow and go up to 80 food, and then he's going to feel like he's really comfortable versus the orc or versus the undead player. Now, so it was actually a really smart fight from Kai. However, again, wasn't really a fight that Kai won. It just wasn't really a fight that Kai lost, and it was also giving Kai some experience on his heroes, and he does want to have high-level heroes. Also, though, flip side, it's given high-level heroes to the orc player, so it's really. It's one of those things where it's like you're doing it because you're banking and you're not at 50 food, you're not breaking 50 food. You're saying, and if I can take the economic advantage, you have an expansion, and I need to make you really pay here. Now this is really smart from Lynn right here. He's going to bring down a Spirit Walker who can dispel these skeletons, yeah, and it just dispels those guys because Burrow's not up yet, so he has no real way to defend these peons versus the skeletons coming in. So he has to bring a unit down here. Worked out really well with that one Spirit Walker. Probably going to keep him there till that barrel finishes, or around the time the barrel finishes, etc. You know what I mean. And yeah, so this is a nice army from Lynn. It's nice, but again, if we look at the food count, it's only at 62 food. It's going to take him a while to actually get up to that 70 food / 80 food that he wants to get to. Meanwhile, Kai sitting here looks like he's ready to break food. There he is, 52 food, and he has got a couple of frost worms queued up, so he's going to have 3 frost worms. These guys are upgraded nicely, 2-1. Down here you can see that these grunts, these raiders, no upgrades at all. This old berserker, no upgrades at all. The Spirit Walkers, they do have 1 adept upgrade, which allows them to dispel stuff like frost armor, skeletons, and, you know, I think that's it. I think that's the only things they're, you know, going to dispel from the undead player, but that's still very important. It's still nice to get rid of those. Skeletons can really turn the tide of a fight. Also, not only that, this is going to be a very heavy air army, and it's got some nice upgrades, like I said, 2-1, with lots of destroyers, lots of frost worms. So, another good reason for Kai coming down here and trading those fiends, saying, well, I don't, you know, I'm going to have air. I don't really want a lot of fiends, because my fiends aren't going to do super well. They, you know, they got to deal with the whole ensnares and the kodos and eating them and being digested and stuff, and it's not really something you want to subject your fiends to, but you know, it's nice because it allowed him to make a frost worm and allowed him to make a couple extra statues before you even hit 50 food. So that was really the goal there, and allowed him to bank up a little bit. And as you can see, it's working out pretty well. It's getting a really nice and scary army. Actually, it's kind of scary, but he is lacking in the item department. And he could really use a mana potion. Can't really afford one though. It's 200 gold for that, and as you can see, he's really riding that. He needs to use those forward to morph in these statues. Of course, here comes that frost worm. Here comes that next statue, sitting at 64 food versus Lynn's 75. But I would argue that this is a better army, a much better army composition. This is a very tier 3 late game army versus a very tier 2 game, kind of late game army. As you can see, these troll berserkers are kind of late game, but these raiders and spirit walkers and kodas, those are all kind of tier 2 units compared to the destroyers and the frost worms, which are very powerful and heavy and anti-air and very heavy or anti-air, anti-ground and heavy ground and anti-tier 2, etc. Anyway, so here comes this fight. As you can see, all these destroyers having a lot of mana, almost full on mana, and these are going to just prevent any of these spirit from really being allowed to stay alive for very long. Go ahead. Oh, he's got a illusion, wand of illusion as well, using those on these frost worms. As you can see, this Blade Master hitting one of these frost worm illusions right now, doing absolutely no DPS whatsoever because it's attacking an illusion. Meanwhile, a lot of these orc units are going down pretty quickly. As you can see, this is a fight going very well for the undead player, and he's looking awesome right now. I mean, he's gonna be able to try to keep this frost worm alive with some coils. Not gonna work out completely, but that's okay. He is still taking out almost all of this orc player's army, and he's only lost, I think, 1 frost worm right now, maybe a ghoul or 2. I'm not sure. Second frost worm on its way down as well. You know, he's going to lose some, but again, he is doing incredibly well right now, taking a lot of experience in this fight, having another illusion, taking some damage as well. Not really, you know, it's really good, because a wand of illusion, I think, 300 gold, I think is how much it costs to buy. It might be 150 gold. I don't know. Either way, they're not expensive terribly, and for what they cause, very nice. And of course, we're going to see all of the frost worms have gone down, but also pretty much the entire bulk of the orc army has died as well, and the orc did have a bigger army, so it's been a great trade for the undead player. However, one problem for the undead player is that he is not with an expo, and his opponent does have an expo, so that's a bit of an issue. And he's going to keep on trying to fight this. So, will he go for the Blade Master? The Blade Master does have a potion of lesser invulnerability as well as some healing waves that can come in and keep him alive. We're going to see both of those being used right there as another destroyer will go down. Unfortunately, the Death Knight simply does not have any mana, and the Lich also suffering a similar problem. But if you had the potion of mana, couldn't really afford it, but that's what I'm talking about. It's so good to have those. And he could just go ahead and maybe try to nuke down this Blade Master. He's going to have the ability to see him in. Oh, he went for the coil on the destroyer. Unfortunately, the destroyer did go down just as he coiled it. It was very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Now Lynn is sitting here saying, okay, well, let me see, I'm at 48 food. He might bank up a bit. And Shao Kai sitting at 37 food. And he's got this 1 goal getting wood. As you can see, he's at 0 wood, so he's going to have to make a couple of those guys just to get himself some more wood. I mean, this is heavy air for undead is a very wood-intensive way to play. And furthermore, for Kai, he's going to have to attack this expansion right now because he can't really afford to back off. If both players rebuild their armies, you know, Lynn's going to rebuild much faster. He's got an expansion. He's going to be much better off. And I don't know if Lynn can actually afford. See how much gold's in that gold mine. He's only got less than 2,000 gold in the gold mine. He can't really even afford to bank up again and actually remake that army that he just had to do that again. But he does have high level heroes, very close to level 5. One more peon will get him to level 5, I think. Indeed, easily. Yeah, easily. And he's unfortunately going to be forced to TP out. Won't be able to kill that burrow or those peons. Oh, he will get the burrow. Unfortunately, won't get those peons. But that will give him a little bit of experience, and that's going to be enough to get him to level 5 on the Death Knight. Now, that is important because he also saved that destroyer, which is really nice as well. But it's very important because now that he has level 5, he has the level 3 coil, which is a pretty big nuke upgrade from level 2. Allows him to do 270 damage, I believe. I think it's 270 damage to heroes, which is pretty good, actually. No. It's not 270, it's 210, I think, yeah. Right? 310, 300, 210. I think it's 210. I'm pretty sure it's 210. Yeah, I'm not sure where the 270. Well, I know where the 270 came from. It's actually, yes, it's definitely 210 damage to heroes or 300 damage to units, which is pretty good. Way better than 140 to heroes and, you know, 200 to units. But anyway, so here comes Mr. Blade Master. He's saying, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to try to do some stuff to you. What's it actually going to do? Not really a whole lot, actually. He's just, you know, he's kind of ensnaring one of the ghouls. Now, fighting in the undead player's base, especially when they have a heavy air army, can be a pretty big problem, even for an orc player who has better economy. As you can see, the orc player is sitting at 63 food. Unfortunately, Kai having to break before he mines out, which is unfortunate because he's going to lose, you know, about 300 gold for that. It's not really an ideal situation. I mean, it would be better if he didn't have to break right now. If he didn't have to make these two guys, he could just wait another 800 gold, but he just doesn't have the time to wait, and so he's going to go ahead and make that abomination, make the Frostworm right there, and at some point, you know, well, of course, he's also healing up his mana with these statues right there, which he needs to do, as you can see, because he needs to get to full mana. That's very important. He doesn't have any mana items at all, which is really dreadful for him. He really could use some additional items, some mana potions, etc. Could be helpful. Also going to see a whole lot of Troll Berserkers. Troll Berserkers with 1 armor upgrade, in fact. And, you know, of course, the armor upgrade is very nice because it affects all of the orc units, of course. Except Coda Beasts. They don't get armor upgrades or attack upgrades for the, if you know, for what it's worth. And, just do that. And, yeah, so the Troll Berserkers actually work pretty well versus heavy air for undead army. They really do. And he has that, of course, the Orb of Lightning, which is also pretty nice. He's doing a lot of damage right now to that to the Lich right now. The Lich, of course, he does have that Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. He can use it if he needs to. Unfortunately, he's going to have to. And also, this Blade Master is sitting here with 4 Circlets of Nobility, as well as an Orb of Lightning and a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. It's plus 23 damage because of the Kodos. Now, if we saw those Kodos go down, he would lose some damage, and that would actually do drastically less damage with this orc's army. So we might see those as focus targets. They are high priority if you can get to them. However, they can be hard to get to because they're generally in the back. You know, they have a good 500 range, which, you know, is more than the 450 the Troll Berserkers had. I knew it was more. I couldn't quite remember how much more. You see that Blade Master actually taking a bit of nuking damage just before this fight starts, and gonna get a healing wave up, but again, that's not gonna bring him up to full life, and if he just keeps tanking those nukes, then he might end up in trouble. But he does, of course, still have that Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Unfortunately, this Frostworm right here has ended up ensnared in a pretty bad position, as you can see, right in a tree. That's gotta hurt. You know, being impaled by a tree, and also allowed the nice concave from the Troll Berserkers to actually go ahead and kill him. And he's going to go down. Oh, the Blade Master actually going to get nuked down. He did have the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, I thought. Maybe he already used it, or maybe he just wasn't expecting that huge amount of spike damage to come in and kill him. But he is down, and now Lynn is going to have a much harder time winning this fight, because without that Blade Master, a lot of your DPS is actually much gone. And on top of that, we're seeing another Frostworm come back out, and these destroyers just doing a lot of good work right here. And how much mana is on this Death Knight and this Lich? Of course, not enough mana on the Lich for any Novas, but enough death mana for at least 1 more coil. And it looks like we're going to see this Shadowhunter TPing out right now, saying, oh, this is not a good position. Unfortunately, one of those Coda Beasts does escape with a Fiend in his belly. Right in his belly. This is the look on a Kodo's face of being satisfied. He is, darn it, I can't see his face. I give up. Screw you freaking orc players, whatever. Anyway, so in the middle of the map, we actually have the Death Knight coming down here with this level 5 Lich. Level 5 Death Knight as well. Nice hero levels. There's a statue right here. He's going to use that to heal up as much mana as he can, right? I'm sure he's using mana until he runs out of mana. And then morph him and coil him, and that's generally the idea right there. Does he have enough gold? He does have enough gold at this point, so he's unsummoning some buildings, as you can see. Probably going to try to put down an expansion down there, because he needs more gold, without a doubt. He also needs to kill all of these peons. If he kills all of these peons, then he might have a chance. Is that Blade Master out yet? The Blade Master is not actually out yet. Let me look and see if he's getting altered. He's actually getting altar revived, so he's got a way to go. This is a little bit risky from Len right here. He's going to defend this without, or going to try to defend this without his Blade Master, so he might actually lose all of this army. If he loses this army, then he's going to have a really difficult time, because in small-scale combat with these high-level heroes for the end of... Oh, the Lich! The Shadowhunter goes down as well! Holy crap, okay, so the Shadowhunter's down as well. all of these Orc units for the most part are going to die. We actually see a Dark Ranger has been picked up as well, which once he gets level 2, actually I didn't notice that. That might have been a silence on the Shadowhunter, which actually is probably exactly what let that guy down. And once he hits level 2, he gets Dark Arrow, which allows him to start turning these guys into skeletons. We probably have 1 level of Dark Ritual on the Lich, going to be able to give him basically a mana battery. But here comes that Blade Master now. This is a much smaller scale fight. Oh, the Death Knight is actually trapped right now. He's not D4. He goes ahead and tosses down a coil. Go ahead and try to kill the Blade Master. The Blade Master is in some serious trouble. The Blade Master is actually running away, but he's silenced and he is slowed by that Frostworm. Will he go down? He goes down as the silence escapes him. Level 6 being picked up by that Lich. And in fact, we're going to see this Dark Ranger also. Now, this is a bad situation for the Undead player, though, because he doesn't have his Death Knight, but the Undead, or the Orc player doesn't have either one of his heroes. Both of them have died. Needs to try to keep this Frostworm alive if he can. He does not want to lose that, and in fact, he will be much better off running that back to his base if he has to, but do not lose that Frostworm. Go ahead and try to kill that Troll Berserker if you can. You don't want him to get to that tavern, but he's going to get to that tavern before you will, so that means he might potentially be able to pick up a hero, which could then potentially kill you, so you want to be careful there. Now, come over here. This is a great point, I think, where you should probably run the Frostworm away from the heroes. Oh man, is he going to lose that? Losing the Frostworm was not a great idea right there. Also, should get that Destroyer out of there, but didn't do that either. Really should have had those hidden down here somewhere, running back to the base or something like that, unsummon some stuff, get your Death Knight back out, and then, you know, heal him up. It would have been way better than losing him like that, because they really didn't do anything. It did kill 1 Troll Berserker, the Frostworm right there, and not really a good trade. Really just not that great of a trade at all. Now, the question is, what level 6 ability did this Lich take? Because he could have taken Dark, Dark Ritual, which actually would be a pretty good idea. I think if he has level 2 Dark Ritual, he can just get a lot of mana from the Acolytes and Skeletons, and that would be pretty brilliant, actually. I don't know if he's going to, but this is one potential issue that we're going to see for the Orc player. The Undead player is actually going to go ahead and Tavern back his Death Knight, it looks like, which is going to mean he's going to revive without any mana and only half HP. Not good. Also, the problem is he's had to get rid of a lot of his buildings. As you can see, he's going to have 1, 2, 3 buildings once these guys unsummon. Blade Master's actually attacking one. He's going to have to be very careful of the base race. He's going to have to be very, very careful. Meanwhile, Lynn is actually mining from the gold mine down there, but he doesn't really have an army. So as long as he doesn't, if he loses his heroes here, which is possible, as you can see, this is going underway right now, this fight. Seeing him actually going ahead, getting a speed scroll off on a Hex on the Death Knight, trying to kill the Death Knight. Will he be able to? How much mana? Not quite enough, unfortunately, for a coil. Otherwise, that Blade Master probably would have died, and that would have been a good game. But this Shadowhunter also in trouble, potentially. Oh, he's going to go ahead and cast a Healing Wave, getting that Blade Master up just a little bit. Going to see a Death Pact being used right here, so that looks like level 1 Unholy Aura. So that means a Death Pact was skilled at level 4, which begs the question: did he Death Pact to survive when he was surrounded, or did he just go down? I don't really remember. I don't really know. I didn't see any Death Pacts, but who knows? Again, though, Lynn is mining down here, which is a pretty big issue, and Shao Kai needs to do something about that. As you can see, he's got nice hero levels, 5, 6, and 3 on the Death Knight, the Lich, and the Dark Ranger, respectively. So He could win. If he had full mana on these heroes, I think he would without a doubt win. I think he would totally win. The heroes would just dominate these low-scale fights. But he doesn't have a whole lot of mana. He doesn't quite, and his Death Knight is suspect, you know. Now, he is level 6, so he could pick up level 2 Death Pact, almost guarantee you that he will. And if he uses that on these skeletons, yeah, see, that's going to be a little bit of a battery, but he is ensnared right now. He's going to also have to deal with the fact that he could get hexed. Will he get blocked? Oh, he's getting blocked by this Raider. Needs to keep him alive, doing some damage to that Shadowhunter. Won't be quite enough, unfortunately, to kill the Shadowhunter. Maybe it will. Oh, he's going to have a health potion pass from the Blade Master over to the Shadowhunter. Another healing wave going to come out, and that might be enough to keep this Shadowhunter alive. Unfortunately, Death Knight is in some scary territory. Is there enough mana for a Windwalk? No more Windwalks, but there are 2 Raiders out on the field, so he's going to have to be very careful. And he just doesn't have any mana. Without mana, he's not really very useful, which is a big issue. Also, these Raiders they see blood, and they are going to try, but we're going to see some nice micro coming in from that Death Knight to actually get him out of there. Unfortunately, the Lich is going to end up being a target for this Ensnare focus. which could be an issue. As you can see, he's running away, but he does have that frost armor. Unfortunately, it's going to get dispelled, and it's 40 mana to cast it again, so he can't cast another one, and there it is. But if another dispel comes in, he will only get one more off, and then we can see maybe even another dispel. I don't know. Meanwhile, there's another dispel right there, and this is good game from Zhao Kai or whatever it is, and that's 2-0, etc. Blah blah blah. What a great game that one though. The ending of that game absolutely fantastic. If Kai had just had more mana. If he just had more mana, he would have won that game. Oh, so close. That is, oh, so close. I mean, he played so well, but just in the end didn't have enough mana, and that's unfortunate, you know. And really though, actually, again, if he hadn't thrown away that Frostorm and that Destroyer, and you know, and he got the Death Knight back out, if he was able to get that from the altar, he might have, I don't know, because it would have taken a while to revive it. Level 5 Death Knight from the altar would have taken a while. And, you know, who knows what size the Orc's army would have been. I don't know, man. But it was, what a great game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's game 2. It's the last game, like I said. And I'll see you guys next time. I hope you all enjoyed it, etc. Yeah.